Welcome back to the Army Life, everybody. Mike here, and today we're going to be going over some fresh new parts for Springfield's new striker-fired pistol, the Echelon. Even though the Echelon is a feature-packed pistol right out of the box, giving you everything from ambidextrous controls to the variable interface design, allowing you up to 30 different optics mounted direct to slide, the chassis system, or COG as Springfield has named it, all the way down to the grip texture and the takedown lever having like a recoil reduction ledge on it. There's just a ton going on with this pistol, but as always, the aftermarket will respond when a pistol gets popular. And one of those companies that has responded is going to be Tyrant CNC. Today we're going to be testing out the new magazine extensions and magazine release from Tyrant CNC. Now the magazine extension is going to be a +5 and will come with a plus power spring in it to ensure the ultimate in functionality. And the magazine release is going to be made of 17-4 steel and is a single-sided design for those of you that may want to go from the ambidextrous design to a single-sided design for one reason over another we'll discuss later. Before we get into all the little details of the extension and the magazine release here, let's talk about the installation and the testing process here, starting with the magazine extension. So this is probably going to be one of the easiest parts you're ever going to put on your pistol, or the magazine specifically, because instead of relying on screws and thread locker or some kind of locking plate design, Tyrant CNC has a very simple no-tool installation. It's just a simple detent. You slide it on over the lips of the bottom of the magazine, that detent pops up in the back and locks the extension into place. It's really just that easy. Once that magazine is locked in place, you're going to want to give it a couple of pushes back and forth to ensure it is locked in appropriately. Then you are going to want to take that magazine and load it to its max capacity. This is going to do a couple of things for you. One, it's going to make sure you install that magazine base plate right. And two, it's going to ensure that there's no hangups and that the spring and the follower are going to be able to do their job, move freely, lock the slide open, feed the next round, and overall give you that 100% reliability that you're looking for. Moving into that range testing, not only did I fire plenty of ammunition through these magazines, but I did plenty of drop testing as well for very specific reasons. I wanted to ensure not only the fit, the function, and the durability when it comes to the magazine extension. I did batches of emergency reload drills, dropping the magazine from chest height onto the ground. I'm 6'4" tall, so that is a pretty solid drop each time on the Arizona desert floor. I did this specifically to test the durability of the detent, and I think we all know that a solid block of aluminum, which is what the base plate is made out of, it's not going to break apart. So my focus was really on the magazine lip fit to that detent design to ensure that there are no failures and that that base plate was not going to overcome the detent, which luckily for me out there on the range, it did not in all of the drop testing I conducted. I also did batches of tactical exchanges and slide lock testing as well. This was to ensure the magazine was going to drop free, lock into place, and that that plus powered spring was going to operate that follower all the way up and be able to lock that slide back each and every time you ran that pistol dry. All of this testing again went 100% reliably. There were no fit issues as far as the magazine extension hitting the bottom of the pistol grip, and the magazine dropped free and inserted with ease, and the slide locked back every single time. Now, as for that magazine release, it was kind of a 2-for-1 when it came to the testing here, because the magazine release was in there the entire time I was testing the magazine extensions. So the things I was looking for here was to ensure that that magazine was going to insert, lock into a place appropriately, and drop free appropriately without any hangups or scarring of the magazine itself. Now, the magazine release is made of 17-4 steel, which is definitely solid stuff, and it performed and functioned exactly as we would expect. There were no issues such as hangups or drag on the magazines, whether they were full or empty. And again, the installation here on the magazine release is really easy due to the Echelon's original design. You literally could take a good sized paper clip, push one pin out that's right above the trigger guard for the magazine release, push the old magazine release out, push the new Tyrant one in, replace that pin, ensure it's flush, test it out, and you are going to be good to go having fun out on the range. Now that we know all of the testing went 100%, the parts were easy to install, and of course they do add some looks to it, let's address the why and the functionality of these two parts. Starting with that magazine release made of 17-4 steel, it is a single-sided magazine release. So you might be asking yourself, why would you want to go from an ambidextrous design over to a single-sided design like the Tyrant one? And there are several reasons for that. One of which could be, depending on how you grip the pistol, an ambidextrous magazine release may not be the best design for you, or maybe you have some holster fit issues with the current holster you have not liking the ambidextrous magazine release. And ultimately, some people just prefer a single-sided magazine release. Now, when it comes to the functionality, there's a lot of good stuff going on here with the Tyrant mag release. The first of which being it is a slightly extended design. So you're gonna have a little bit more meat to get a hold of. And of course, along with that more aggressive texture milled into the magazine release, it does have a nice look to it depending on which color you're gonna go with, which you can get in black, silver, or gold, just like the magazine extensions. And talking about those magazine extensions, probably the biggest reason here is it gives you +5 capacity over the factory 17 round magazine. That's obviously a very nice upgrade to keep you moving out there on the range. The magazine extensions are made of 6061 aluminum, which is a nice balance between weight and strength, and they are finished off in a hard anodized finish, again in either gold, silver, or black, whichever you do prefer. But there's also some functionality built into the actual design and the machine work of the magazine. If you look at the sides, you're gonna see some deep depressions, and if you look at the bottom, you're gonna see some ledges. Those are going to help you strip a magazine should you ever run into an ammunition failure. They're gonna give you plenty of surface area to grip onto that magazine and pull it out. You'll also notice the nice machine work here. All of the edges have been rounded off, chamfer cut, so it's gonna be a very snag-free design compared to other things out there in the market. I know many of you out there are thinking, what is this gonna cost me? Because we all know there is no such thing as a free lunch. When it comes to that magazine release, you're looking at $32.95 US, and each magazine extension is going to be $39.95. Those are both the MSRP. I think those are fair prices, especially out there in the market today. And I think when we factor in the cost, whether you're looking to upgrade, custom fit, or you just want a custom color on there, I think those are prices that we can live with based on what we're getting out of the Tyrant CNC release and the extension. Whether you are looking to custom fit parts for your performance out on the range or just want a certain look, make sure you check out the new parts for the Echelon from Tyrant CNC, and make sure you check out some more content on the Echelon here on the Armory Life.